not deceased.
That's good to know. You know, I usually enjoy writing code when I get paid for it. It's hard for me to write code and like I'm not getting like instant or within 2 week like reward for it or feedback or dopamine.
Yeah, I mean, I like to create code when I'm not doing it for work too. But I don't have like, but I could never pick like a project or have any sort of like desire to build something specific. So there's like no reason to write code. Um, game stuff worked for a while, but yeah, I don't know. Work is on and off. Lately, I've been having a lot more fun with it. For a while there, I was like, God, I don't want to do this ever. So yeah, I wonder why that is.
Because you know that there's a reward and it's not going to fall on deaf ears.
Yeah, I
And as
suppose
far
that's
as
what it
I
is.
think it's a couple things. It's validation from other people, hence your your client or your employer, and then it's your bank account. So those are like two dopamine hits
Yeah,
if
I
you do it right.
suppose. It's a lot less about the bank account for me, but in terms
Dogs
of
and
pleasing people, yeah, for sure.
yeah, dogs endure. Take two. Dogs enjoy receiving praise, and I think humans do too. It makes them
Yeah,
feel as if they have purpose.
yeah, I suppose that's the case. You know, like anytime you're building something you think is kind of neat too, you want to show it off and get people to be like, "Oh, that's so cool," and blah blah blah. No, you found this. Look at you.
Good boy.
Good boy. Who's the bestest boy? Yeah. Yeah, I suppose that's probably part of it.
Can you imagine being at a daily stand up and you report what you completed, and the scrum master or your manager says, "Good boy,
Not only
good,
that, but
not a boy, not a boy."
they come with
Like
like
what you
treats and
say?
they come with like little candy bars and then they put them. Who's a good boy? And then they just kind of throw it in. Then you start licking your balls.
Oh, new topic. That was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that would be so funny, but I suppose that's about what it is. It's kind of like a hierarchy, and you're getting praise from the hierarchy, so your status goes up, and
Or you start
it's all
smiling
good.
and you piss on the wall or on the key seat.
Yeah, that'll happen.
That'd be a funny skit.
Yeah. Oh man, start a stand-up comedy or a skit. What is it called? Sketch comedy show.
It's weird. Even though I'm not allowed to write C sharp, I still try to force the C sharp or the F sharp. Take two. It's
Yeah,
funny.
right. F
Even
sharp.
though I can't write F sharp professionally, I still like to sneak in F sharp idiomatics. What's the word I'm looking for? When
Idioms.
idioms is that the
I think it's
correct term?
idioms. Yeah.
I like to sneak in F sharp idioms.
Hmm.
Here's an example. Instead of having a bunch of instead of having like a nested or not even nested, instead of having if and if and if and
Hmm.
if, I like just having a list of conditional expressions and then execute it. It's just like I like that stuff.
So like, so you write lambdas that. So instead of like, I don't know why
Yeah.
that wouldn't be better over switch
So
pattern
there's like
matching.
a so you're familiar with the and F sharp is called for all. I'm not sure if link. I think link is called
For each.
no. I think link is for all. Hold on, give me a second.
There's no for all in link. There's a for each on lists and some other
No,
things.
no. If you want to say all these,
Oh, it's just all
all,
then.
it's called all. Okay,
Yeah.
that
Okay, so
sounds
you're
right.
saying instead of if this and this and this and this, so if it's an and operation between a bunch of conditionals,
Yeah,
you put those expressions in a list and then say if all of these conditions are true. I gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, I've never thought of doing that before, but it kind
That's
of,
all I do.
yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense. I might try it next time I have a big set of things. I mean, I've put them in methods before where I name what I'm trying to accomplish and then, or functions, I guess would be a better term for that kind of thing.
No,
Um,
I'll have like this policy dot execute, and I pass in these rules.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, so kind of like, yeah, I mean, that's how the authorization service in ASP networks is. It's a set of policies that you, or a policy with a set of requirements that all have to pass. So it makes sense. I mean, it's definitely, you can see that pattern in the framework in other places. Yeah, I just never thought of doing it before, but
it's because you don't sip from the F sharp Kool Aid. Hold up, take two. Because you don't sip from the F sharp goblet. Sounds better.
yeah, it's better than Kool-Aid, which we know sipping the Kool-Aid is a death sentence. So, but no, I mean, I when I tinkered with F sharp for a little bit for that Advent code, it was I mean, I liked it. I don't know that I could have I don't know that it was more readable. It was definitely more concise in some places.
Well, it
So
constrains you down a certain path of writing code. Like
yeah,
it won't compile unless you address the constraints.
yeah. I think the main thing I didn't do, which I should have done, is made more smaller functions that just did one thing. So I was just doing chaining, a lot of chaining of things, and it just got a little gross. But
Yeah.
but I do that with Link too. Same thing. It's like you just chain a bunch of things together, and I like that style of programming. And once you know what it is, it's not like it's more complicated. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I like using other monads and stuff too. It's like the maybe or whatever, or result types, things like that.
I wrote so I wrote uh, I'm responsible for writing this web service that just does one thing, right? Given a string input, it
Hmm.
returns a string response. You know how many tests I wrote for that? And all it does is forward a request to another service.
Oh, well, probably a lot then, because you don't want it to forward to the wrong service, right?
I have 18 tests
Brilliant.
for a service that has one endpoint.
Well, that's good, I suppose. Like unit just where see, is that a case where it's just like a string manipulation thing where like that's where I feel like unit tests make a lot of sense is when you've got a clear specific set of inputs and outputs and you're just trying to make sure that the
I have
algorithm matches up.
I have two test projects, unit tests and security tests. I have tests for request headers being valid, tests for uh, response headers being valid, tests for different types of security vulnerabilities for headers, tests for to make sure that the string format is appropriate, t- tests for making sure that there's not a memory like limit fault. Test for what else do I have in here? How do I do this? Like I haven't written code in a while. Um,
Should write some TypeScript.
actual happy path test. That's the only I only have one happy path test.
Hmm.
Test for
That's all you need.
authentication, test for authorization, test for ensuring that all all elements within this XML string actually exist, and if they don't, a proper 400 error code that provides details on how to fix it. Um, what else is there? Invalid size, invalid format. Already said that. And yeah, that's the gist of it.
My
I like
chair needs some
tests.
WD-40.
I'm trying to. You said my chair. Oh, you hear it?
My chair needs
Uh,
WD-40. Sounds
my
like I'm
headboard
rocking
need my headboard needs some WD-40.
it.
Oh yeah,
maybe some wood wax or something.
and it needs to be
Hmm.
reinforced. My headboard needs to be reinforced. Oh yeah, reinforced headboard. Give these hoes brain damage.
Should just be made out of cinder blocks.
You know that,
Yeah,
like, is it like arena football where they have like the padding on
on
the
the sides.
walls on
Yeah,
the
I think so.
sides? Yeah, I need that type of material for my headboard.
They're starting a arena football league up here. I think not in my town, but in Duluth.
I went to one arena football game, and it was exactly what I expected.
What? Just,
I mean, the field is so short, like, and it just felt like
is it
high
just like
schoolers playing.
basketball, back
It
and
felt
forth,
like high
back and forth?
schoolers like playing at a park or something. It it just didn't seem as if it was like cream of the crop, obviously.
Yeah, probably not.
But I mean, like, the arena football field is not that big.
Yeah,
Like, it's literally, if I'm on one side of the street, I would argue it's maybe the size of 3 to 4 main roads. The width of them. It doesn't. It just doesn't seem big at all.
arena football
It seems
field
like a little
size.
bit. It seems like it's a
Because isn't a
basketball court
full
and a half.
yeah isn't a full one like 100 yards for a normal football field?
Yeah,
So it's like half of a football field.
I don't even think it's
So
that.
it's 85 feet and 50 yards long.
Okay.
I wonder why they chose that.
Basically, you can't even like go full throttle and throw a Hail Mary because then you'll throw into the stands. Like, that may not be true. Well, it is true for a professional quarterback.
Ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum bum. Yeah, bum ba
Let's go
bum ba
back into
bum.
headboards. Oh, heavy duty headboards.
Hmm.
Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm on my own PC. All right, heavy. I saw heavy. Heavy duty headboards. Now watch it bring up some bad side or something. Oh yeah, those are some strong headboards. I like that one. Hold up. I want to share my screen. Yeah, we go from F sharp to headboards. How do I do this?
So they only play for 15-minute quarters. How long is a traditional
Why
quarter?
everything? It's not really giving me a choice to say decline. Fine.
Well, you can customize it and then decline them all.
You like this
Um,
headboard?
I guess so.
It doesn't even look like a headboard. It
Not a
looks like it's
headboard. It's
just
like
a
a big
pillow.
ass pillow.
I like headboards. I like this one. Oh,
Wow,
hold on.
that's
Oh,
so amazing.
that's not the.
That's not the
Oh yeah,
picture.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, but this is part of the thing. This one looks very durable.
Yeah,
Very
you just
durable.
attach it to the wall.
I don't think she'll hurt her head on this
It
one.
looks like a padded room, like in a mental institution.
I don't think so. It looks like a suite.
Well, no,
It
I mean
looks like
it's
a
like
very nice
padded
hotel.
room. Like you're not gonna hurt yourself. Then you just gotta put her in one of those straight jackets.
Why did it? That was weird. This is misleading. I guess because it says sponsored. But if it's sponsored, you're the one responsible for uploading the images. Heavy duty metal headboard.
The metal ones will kill you though.
Yeah, that doesn't look attractive. They should have a headboard that's a aquarium with fish in it. That would be
I'm
dope.
sure that they do, but I mean usually you like leave the lights on in a fish tank, so it probably would suck. You're just trying to sleep and you got this lighted fish tank. Maybe you'd have to build like some sort of like
Poor fish. Those fish are going to be
something that like
traumatized.
closes up so that you don't have to see them at night.
But the fish are going to see everything that goes
Or maybe
on
you could like
in that bed.
make it so that the glass is I can't remember what it's called, but you know, like you can pass a current through it or something and it goes black.
I was at the pier last week. I'm soft, dude. I watched this guy reel in a fish, and let me stop my screen. I watched this guy reel in a fish, and then he just let the fish flop around on the ground. I felt so sorry for that fish. I was watching him suffocate for
Fish
like
don't feel
for
like that
about
though.
5 minutes. It was sad, man.
Yeah,
That's
no,
how soft I am.
fish don't have those like nerve endings and stuff. They don't. It's not the same.
It looked like that fish was trying to struggle to breathe. No,
Well, yeah, it was trying to breathe. It was going to suck in water. It wasn't like I'm suffocating. It's
That's
well,
what it
not
looked
getting
like.
anything.
How do you know?
Not getting anything. Fish aren't a big deal.
Well, I
They're
realized that, but I still had
pretty like
empathy.
they're pretty like stupid
I
creatures. They don't
understand
have
that,
a
but I
lot of
still have empathy. Like I'm a soft dude, right?
nah.
Like I would
Fish,
save a fish before I save a homeless person. That's pretty effed up.
yeah, I don't know. I don't have any like fish are maybe one of the few animals other than like I think fish are at the top of the chain where I don't feel bad. Any mammals
Mine are birds. They're
like
not real.
maybe snakes I wouldn't mind decapitating a snake, but
I
you
said
know,
birds aren't real.
birds yeah. Don't you see them like get on those power lines and power up, man?
How do you
That's
explain the bird droppings from the power lines? Is that like
that's just
acid that while it's falling down gets I don't know. They try to yeah,
no.
I'll
See,
give up on the
they're
joke.
specially designed to ingest things and turn it into like natural lubricant for their system. Because I mean, obviously the lubricant's gonna wear down, so they have to eat like bugs and other creatures and things so that they can get some like oils to oil their system, and then they have to kind of like shit out the remains. I think. Yeah.
That's logical.
I mean, obviously you can't just build a machine that's gonna be flying around 24/7 without oil changes.
This is true. Speaking of
Anyways,
which, they do you follow like astronomy?
do I follow astronomy?
Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, I catch articles now and then. I
They
mean,
have some cool projects lined up, but man, I'm gonna be in a nursing home by the time they finally like I don't know, by the time these vehicles land, they got one that's going to one of the what is it? I forgot which moon. I forgot which planet. It's either Jupiter or Saturn. One of those moons for one of those planets. They plan on having a probe drill down like 30 miles through the ice shell. Not 30 miles through the ice shell. I think the shell.
isn't that one of them going to Titan? Jupiter's
That's a
moon,
separate
Titan.
one. The
Okay.
Titan one's going to have a helicopter. I think it's called Dragonfly. So I think Dragonfly is Titan, but it takes like 7 years just to get over there. Hence, me going to be in a nursing home, right?
Hmm.
The other one, they're going to drill through the ice shell so that they could penetrate the ocean. And they believe the ocean is like, I don't know, like 20, 30 miles deep.
Hmm.
And yeah, because it's one of those moons that have geysers. And when they sent a probe by, it, it was able to detect salt water. So
Hmm.
they want to see if there's some bacteria, some, some living bacteria that's inside. So, or microbes. My bad. I don't understand the difference between microbes and bacteria.
Are are bacteria microbes, but not all microbes are bacteria, or is microbes like a higher level? Hmm.
Sounds like microbes would probably be a lower level building block. I don't know.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
that's what I do. I watch gang violence on YouTube and I watch astronomy videos
Have you looked at the
in that order.
have you read about like the Voyager 1 and what they did to like fix it to extend its life even further? Even though it's like it's in what's it called? Not hyperspace. It's in oh my God, what's it called?
Interstellar.
Interstellar space. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And it's getting bombarded by like because it's out of the sun's gravitational well now, so it's getting bombarded with all of these like particles and things. So it's crazy how like the big sun provides order around it. But it's getting bombarded, and so it's like something causes memory chip to lose part of its capability or whatever. So they had to like remap so that it only uses part of its memory, and then it started sending back good data again or something like that. It's really fascinating how they're keeping that thing limping along as it's out in like 100 what like it's like 140 million miles away or something like that right
Yeah, I
now.
thought it was operating off of like 4 watts of power.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. He'll come back in 100 years as Viger and try to destroy us unless we save the whales.
Yes.
that was a I think that was a plot of a Star Trek film.
I can't stay awake during Star Trek movies. I literally fall asleep during every single one. I'm a fan of it, but
First Contact was good. All the rest of them are meh. But
I
First
like
Contact
Resistance
was
is Futile.
yeah, that's First Contact. That's the
Oh,
one with the
okay.
Borg where they go back in time and then to when they first discovered or when humanity first got the warp core and then they met the Vulcans or whatever. Um, and then the Borg were there trying to assimilate them all, and John Luke gets assimilated, and yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I fall asleep during all of them. The last one was good. When they had like when they were like young
Yeah,
adults.
yeah. The last two, did you watch? Well, there were there
I've
two of
watched
them or
every
three of
single
them?
one.
There were three of them, weren't there?
The last
Yeah, there were
one,
three
the
of them.
movie was based on that one engineer who I think his daughter was dying, and the bad guy came and said, "I could save her if you're willing to be a suicide bomber or something with some like solution, some antimatter, whatever."
Hmm.
And that was the beginning of the movie. And the guy was like human, but he was like he had hella recovery. He was just stronger. I don't know. He was something. I don't know what he was. They're all humanoids.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, I don't blame Hollywood, but I honestly think I honestly think that it's totally conceivable for intelligent life that's more advanced than us to be either air dwellers or sea dwellers. Right now, we just assume that they're all extra, like, what is it, extraterrestrial, like they just walk on the ground, right? But I think it's totally conceivable for higher intelligence or more advanced aliens that, like, I don't know, they pimp other aliens and other planets to be like water dwellers,
Yeah, I could see
and
water
or
or some
or
sort of fluid.
or or sky dwellers.
Yeah, well, I think if it was sky dwelling, it would be still technically like aquatic if you think about it, because I don't know that you'd generate like in a gravitational well, the amount of energy you'd have to like generate to keep a large, unless you're a very, very small creature with not a lot of gravitational weight to yourself, or if you live on a planet where there's just no gravity. Um, but if you just took something equivalent to us, it just take a lot of energy to keep yourself up, unless you're just like from a world of massive creatures and you're a small one that is able to
Hold on,
feed
it
and
takes
get
a lot
enough.
of energy to keep yourself up. You talking
I
about in
mean,
regards to like within the air?
yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of energy to keep something, unless there's some factor where you don't have as much gravity, which could be the case if you have a very, very
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
dense atmosphere, because then it's almost like you're swimming,
Well,
just you know,
well
and then you're
every
basically aquatic.
every bird or bat or pterodactyl, I mean, they all perch at some point,
Yeah,
right? In our case, they perch on towers, rooftops, branches.
yeah, but you still then walk on the ground enough, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
yeah,
suppose
that's
it.
fair. So aquatic or terrestrial, as we
I
know it.
mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could fly, but like, or you'd be gliding more than you would be. Uh, I'm trying to think of how that would even like. So, if you were to take over the planet enough, like we have, where you're like the dominant
I already
species,
have the
you just like,
solution.
unless you're a small creature that's just exceptional at killing.
Well,
I don't know.
you're still, what you're assuming is that on those other celestial bodies, that their gravity is the same as ours, 9.8
Yeah,
meters per second squared. You could take into consideration that they have large moons or multiple large moons that are orbiting, that are significantly reducing, in a way, kind of providing their own look, was it Lagrange points?
yeah,
Maybe not necessarily neutral, but significantly reducing the gravity well.
yeah. I mean, like I could see if it's a.
But Hollywood is not going to think about that.
Well, I think they did with Avatar a little bit. Like, there's floating
They were
rocks
still
and shit.
humanoids.
Yeah, but there were floating rocks and shit that they had in that,
Uh,
because the gravity was all screwed up in one of the spots.
well,
I don't know if they ever explained it. They had
if
they
the
had,
rocks were floating, then everything else should be floating, including the people.
and in the last one, half the tribe that they encountered had highly adapted to aquatic life, so they had built like they had finned hands and stuff like that. And if you watch the last one, and I think the next one they're gonna be all fire, like
Oh, the one that's going to
volcanic.
come out in 2038.
No, I think it's supposed to come out much sooner than that.
It took 10 years for the last one to come out.
Yeah, but I think that they've been working on them all in unison, um
Because
like I don't know,
that was a $250 million, or was it more?
that it earned over 1 billion.
No, how much did it cost to produce?
I'm not sure. Avatar
I thought it was a quarter of a
3
billion.
release date. So Avatar 3 is supposed to come out next year, actually. It's scheduled for December 2025, with another film in 2029 and another one in 2031. God, 2031. Holy shit. Fuck.
Again, no.
Sorry. Ugh. Um, Avatar production cost. So yeah, it was 250 million for it in 2009,
And that's without Will Smith.
and then it was about
Ooh,
quarter
John.
of billion each.
What's it called? John Legend? No, who's John Legend? Oh, that's a guy I don't like. What is that movie with Will Smith and the zombies?
Oh, I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. I don't know where John came from.
John Legend. Yeah, he's got. They both have
I don't
legend in
like
the name.
him. I Am Legend. The sequel's coming out. That's gonna be cool.
Yeah, aren't they basing it off of the alternative ending though?
I don't
So
know what's
they're
alternative ending.
retconning the theatrical.
I think
I
no.
haven't
The
watched
the
the
trailer
alternative ending.
was I thought there was like another black dude, and somehow they discovered each other. Will Smith and this other black guy. I don't know why color matters, but it is what it is. Um, yeah, I think that's what the trailer is about.
Okay. Well, yeah, but Will Smith died in the first film.
Did he?
Unless you watch the yeah, unless you watch the I guess unless you watch the retcon, like there
How did
was
he
an
die?
alternative ending. He pulled a grenade in the basement and then he sent the people out through the fire hatch and then he blew up the zombies that were trying to get him.
Oh,
I can't remember what the alternative ending was though, because I feel like I have I actually had it on HD DVD, but I think that the alternative ending broke or something. Ending for I Am Legend. Yeah, it's like one of the more famous alternative endings. Instead of blowing himself up and the hemocytes up with the grenade, Neville discovers that the hemocytes actually came for the female he captured early in the movie. He relieves her of the cure and returns her to the hemocytes.
okay. This is I'm trying really,
And then I
really
think they
hard.
just leave him alone after that or something like that. Afterwards, they leave him and they let him be. Three are seen leaving New York to Vermont safety zone. So instead of him dying, he actually survives or whatever. So it's a. Yeah. Have you ever watched the other one that's based on? Are those the other versions of that film that's based on? I think it's called like
Thriller?
it, no, it was called Omni Man, I think, or something like that.
No,
Not Omni Man. Omni Man's a like superhero. Omega Man.
no.
Yeah, Omega Man's got Charleston Heston in it. You know who Charleston Heston is? The guy who did like Planet
Is
of
that
the
James
Apes.
Bond?
And, no, he did Planet of the Apes, and he did uh, I don't know if you ever watched the New Testament or the Old Testament or the fuck was it called? Where he plays Moses.
No, I never saw that movie. I boycotted it.
Oh, it was on like, but Omega Man, they're more like religious zealots than they are like zombies. It's really weird. But there's like I think there's also another. Oh, apparently Whoopi Goldberg was in that one too. Omega Man.
I've been a gambler, man.
Okay.
Oh shoot, Microsoft Build is this month, right?
Oh,
Microsoft Build conference.
I thought that was in August, but maybe
No, it's in May.
it's in May. Let's go. What day
It's
is
going to
this?
be all AI.
Have you looked at doing anything with large language models?
No, I mean I have some ideas about how it could be relevant. Um, so like, I mean, it's going to revolutionize like tech support.
Yeah, it's May 21st to the 23rd. Um, yeah. I mean, but you can go download large language models and run them yourself off of Hugging Face like locally. So, but I don't know. I just haven't played with it enough yet.
I'm not interested in it unless I get paid.
Hmm.
That's the thing. Like, he, hear me out. So I know a couple developers. They're like, I'm going on an AI track. I'm gonna get my certification. I'm like, certification in what? Like, there's no training material for large language models, especially when it comes to ChatGPT. So you're going to be getting the certification in your typical machine learning, uh, whatever that cognitive AI, computer vision. But that's not the stuff that everybody's going ape over. Right, the industry is going to ape over large language models, hence
Yeah.
ChatGPT. So
La
is it
llama.
really now? The caveat is recruiters are stupid. No, that's not fair to say. Recruiters are what's the politically correct? Uh,
Naive.
Recruiters are naive. They're not going to really be able to distinguish the details of someone with an AI certification versus what the business or the industry is really attracted to, which is large language models, right? So I don't know. Am I wrong? Is there something I'm missing?
No, no. I'm just surprised there isn't certifications on it yet
There's no
because
training
it's been
material
out
on it.
enough. Yeah.
I looked. I invested like half an hour of my life looking, and there was nothing there. And I mean, I don't think I'm smart enough to read the research papers or the journals.
Yeah, I mean they've got some. Let me see here. It
Hit
looks like they have
trees like
some
Sonny
training material, but
Bono. I've been sitting on this latest tech conception episode for like the past week, man. I gotta get that thing done probably by tomorrow. Get it
why don't you just
published.
feed it to a large language model and have it do it for you? You know what I wanted to? I wanted to build a tool that uses AI to help me write uh, uh, merge request or pull request descriptions and like documentation. So I always take time and like try to write out like everything I did, and then I try to create a demo video, and then I put screenshots and like I just do like the works usually, and it takes forever.
I am not a fan of pull requests.
Yeah, so what I want to do is like get something where if I could just get in the habit of doing a lot smaller commit messages and then just build like write out exactly what I did in the commit or and the why, and then just have the language model read it and then write like an expanded version of it that explains it all, and then um,
I hate pull requests. Let me tell you why. It 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 doesn't map to the way that I build software at
oh, I
all.
know we've had this discussion before. Like
Like
you just push, 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 push.
my brain is so scattered that when I'm focused on an objective and I see opportunities to clean up other things, I just clean up other things in parallel to my objective. And
Yeah,
pull requests, they discourage that type of behavior or that type of development. I hate it. What do you mean I'm not allowed to clean up these other files that have an opportunity to just be more maintainable? I have to focus on this one objective and completely silo myself to this. I hate it. Not
yeah,
again.
yeah. It's like there's yeah, I know what you mean. It'd be nice if there was a way to like to I don't know to
Truck
somehow like
base.
well no I mean within the merge request give like because you could do it by commit, right? But that's not because you're in the middle of a flow. But it would be great if you could somehow like take your code changes, somehow like compartmentalize them and separate them into different like semantic like things. Like here's the
Yeah.
actual change. This was an F all related to this effort, and this was all
Tags.
within a commit like chain or like or even within the MR being able to tag. Yeah, I mean tag. You could tag
Yeah, you
specific
tag
chunks
it
of code,
as a
but it has to be
as
presented in a way where it's like, here, show me all of. So if you looked at the pull request, you could say, all right, here's the big effort, like groups of efforts that went into this. Here's effort one, effort two, effort three. So the functional change, this refactoring that I did, this refactoring. And you could drill into that and only bring up the changes that are actually related to that thing. So you could put on a lens of, okay, I'm trying to solve this problem. Look at the functional solution. That makes sense. Okay, here was a refactoring I did. Look, go into that. Look, because you can do that manually by just creating three, you know, if you, let's say there's three things that you did, two refactors and one functional change, you could create three merge requests or pull requests, which oh god, I hate how those not consistent between GitLab and Git GitHub. But you could create three and do that yourself, and then try to chain them. And but then
It's
it's like,
it's
why are you doing this?
it's
Or
it's a
yeah,
dumb workflow.
yeah,
To everybody else, it's normal. To me, it's counterintuitive. It doesn't make sense. I understand the motivation, but I don't think it's a solution. But obviously, the
yeah.
solution
I think
is
the
sustainable because damn near 90% of industry software is built like this. It
yeah.
doesn't map to the way that I build at all.
But I think that's a common problem and people just have ignored it. And I think that there's probably some way that you could take the merge request process and somehow organize things to be into those like bucketed sets of like, here's a logical change and here's a logical change, and split up the whole thing by logical change so that developers can read it and actually drill into a specific logical change at a time and then see the entire picture at the end. I'm actually trying right now where I just create a feature branch and then I'm just creating branches off of that and doing small one-offs so that each one is documented. So like here's a
Like,
set of changes that are consumable by a person that you could actually review reasonably. Okay, I'm gonna do a merge request, and then I'll just have one big massive one at the end and be like, if you want to know about any part of this, just go to each one of these smaller ones and figure it out from those.
even Odie, he told me that at his shop they do trunk base, hence at Amazon. Well, the team that he's on. So
Yeah, where they just merge right into the main,
I
don't
mean,
do any.
they you can't do trunk base successfully if you don't have an environment that's conducive to it. Hence,
Yeah,
hella automation.
yeah, I suppose.
But like, I'm gonna try not to get fired because there's certain things that to me it's just very intuitive, but to other people they think it's so much effort, and there's just a disconnect.
No, I agree with you. I actually think, like, generally speaking, pull requests are a waste of time. Like, I don't know. I wish that we could pull metrics. I wish that you could get a universal metric of how many things were actually caught in pull request. Now, the one exception of that is that if
Naming
somebody's gonna
conventions. That's pretty
if
much all
somebody's
it
gonna put
is.
in malicious code, that's like the one thing where like it feels like you need to have at least a double check somewhere. That's not a test because test functionality, but if you're being malicious, like, but I don't know. People might not even catch the malicious thing. So
Well,
obviously that thing that got into a Linux, I can't remember what it's called. That was a looks good to me moment, and it was a very sophisticated backdoor that somebody put in. But so maybe it's not even a big deal. But you could also have like a retroactive review of code too, where before a release, maybe someone goes through and just like does
so
a once over.
I'm still what's the word I'm looking for? Like my vocabulary is leaking like every week, right? Is it proponent? What's can I use the term proponent for saying I'm a fan of?
Mhm.
So I'm still a proponent of thoughtful architectural design that I believe will at least reduce some of the security concerns that we need to be explicitly thoughtful about. So when you have an architecture that constrain whose programming model or influences the programming model, so that developers are constrained to only program to the business and not necessarily the cross-cutting concerns such as logging or security. I think it helps, but that that idea, that concept is so alien, I would argue, to like 98% of developers and architects. Secure by Design. I recommend the book, right? Even before I consumed it, I was on that when I was working for a large scale company 2 years ago. I was basically doing the same thing where you expose somewhat of your SDK for developers to program to that model of the business, and they don't have to worry as much about date time formats. They don't have to worry if they try to send a HTTP request or even publish a message that's to a endpoint that's not approved based on some configuration file that has a whitelist, then it just gets flagged and it doesn't leave the system, right? Like you can do this at the application level. Now there's better tools outside of the application level at the enterprise level that you could accomplish the same thing. But I would also say that if there is time and budget, then there should be a single point of failure if there's time and budget. But it's a foreign concept to a lot of these folks, man. I
Yeah,
develop my own
I don't know. I feel
podcast.
like if you've got, I mean, if you're writing code, unless it's in a like a DSL or something, you're like if you're writing .NET code or you're writing any code, you're any developer could put in something insecure, even if your architecture tries to prevent it. Like, I mean, intentionally put it in, and even unintentionally. But obviously, what you're saying would reduce the unintentional
Yeah, it's not
down
going to get rid
because
of it, but
yeah,
it,
you're
it
focusing on just writing the actual like business domain model, and you're not worried about I/O, which is where most of the you're less worried about I/O, which is where most of the security concerns are. But if you're
you know,
just if you have free access to code, you can write I/O code in your domain model if you want to, and if no one's double checking that, that's the thing.
yeah,
But again, it's like you gotta
that's a
have
different problem though,
yeah
right? The majority of developers are not Russian or Chinese spies, right? They legitimately want to deliver for their client.
yeah
Their majority of developers are not malicious by intent. Um,
yeah. I mean, maybe you could do something where you like because you can write plugins, and I'm just thinking about .NET development because you can write plugins that run in like a constrained security constrained compartment, can't you? I think there is where they can't do certain things. I want to say that
well,
there's
you
that
have other
capability.
layers of security. So there's, mind you, I've been researching a lot on cybersecurity. So there's three acronyms that I would say, based on my limited maturity and security, three acronyms that will probably cover maybe 90% of concerns at a high level. It's CIA-T, right? So confidentiality, integrity, availability, and then that dash T is traceability, right? But usually I just think about CIA. And the other one is
Or
PDR,
yeah. Oh
is
damn. That's blue
prevention,
ribbon.
detection,
Oh
response.
PDR. Hmm.
Yeah. So you take those two areas and you develop a plan, a strategy, given business objectives, or of how you're going to focus on addressing what could go wrong. And that's the other thing that I learned. Like, so your typical solution architects, they tend to focus on how to make the solution work, right? Your security architects tend to focus on what can make the solution not work, right? Based on vulnerabilities and stuff like
Hmm.
that. I don't know. It's a huge topic.
Yeah.
Stupid pull requests.
Yeah, but like I said, if you take the security thing out of it, it's like I feel like it's. I wish we could get, and I'm sure the metrics exist, but I wish there was a way to compute like how many bugs are found that could have been caught in pull requests that weren't, or how many were that weren't. Like I think there's a bit of a difference if you're doing it as like you've got junior developers and but like most of the pull request like messages I get aren't like it's nitpick things or like
Hmm.
convention
It's
things that
90% of his naming conventions. Like,
yeah,
rename this
nine of
file,
it's yeah, or like I would have rather organized it like
make this a
this, or
constant.
can you make this more readable, or like that.
Yeah.
It's never like, oh, you don't understand that from a business perspective. This is what because that comes out in like user testing and testing in general. Like it's not through inspection. But I don't know. But I don't know. There's inspection if you're doing like in-depth code inspections where you're actually walking people through and they have to confirm the solution with you. That's a totally different thing versus a passive. Here's what I did, and then people just kind of look at it and go, "Yeah, it looks good." Hell if
Yeah.
I know, I'm not working on it. Nobody gets that invested. Nobody spends like a day pulling down your pull request and running through it and trying different things and verifying it and understanding the problem domain that's in your head. It's like I feel like there's a lot of waste there that could be optimized and just
Yeah,
just
yeah,
not.
it's an industry standard.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Well, I
ever
guess
s-
it's
you ever
yeah.
see that video of, I think, of that older, like, senior citizen doing security at some, I don't know if it's a game or something, and so people are lined up in the queue, and he's like patting them down, but he's not touching them at all. But he's just going through the motion. He's literally
Yeah,
not touching them,
yeah,
right? And they just go through, and that's. I wish I could find that video, but it's pretty much what pull requests are. It's like it's required in order to continue through the pipeline or progress, but it's really just, what's the word I'm looking for? My vocabulary is leaking. It's all fluff.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
all
It's
ceremony.
yeah,
It's, I think of a religious group that comes to mind, but it's basically public display without
yeah,
any like authenticity of what the real motivation is for.
yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, and occasionally it's useful, like occasionally, but it's more the exception than the rule that things come out in pull request. It really is, and so it's I don't know. And a lot of times it's like the changes shouldn't be held up just because you found something, as long as it's not a security blocker or like a or the functionality is just wrong or the domain model is wrong, things like that. But
Yes and no. I I agree with you, but the counter argument is, well, that just means that there's more tech debt that's accumulating. And in most projects, in reality, you don't really have, I don't think it's a common practice to make time for tech debt. You
yeah,
make time,
tech debt's overused too.
well, that's exactly what it is. If you have feedback, but you go ahead
Mm,
and accept the pull request anyway, it is tech
no,
debt.
I don't think it is tech debt.
What is it?
Well, because like it
There's
depends
a
on the
more
type of
maintainable
thing.
way of accomplishing this.
Tech debt is I've no tech debt is something where you sit and you go, okay, I know this is not a good solution to the problem, like or that, but it works, and so we're going to put in something to we're going to intentionally do it this way right now with guaranteed repayment because otherwise we're going to default on our debt and we're going to push it out and then we're going to fix it. When you just have a difference of opinion or somebody wants something a different way, that's not tech debt. It's
Okay,
well, I thought it was
you're
fine.
right.
So it is. I think that tech debt, for it to be debt, has to be a conscious decision that you're going into debt on it and that you're going to pay it off. Otherwise, all it is just like, oh, this isn't the way I would have done it 2 years ago, and now it's tech debt. Well, no, it's not. You did it the way you thought it should be done 2 years ago, and now you're realizing it's not as good. So it's not debt. It's just a new thing that you need to do if you want to like clean it up and make it a different way, or you can just leave it if it's functional. It's
You're
not
right.
debt. I hate it. Just tech debt just gets thrown around as like our system has so much tech debt. It's like, well, did you actually take out that debt, or did you just like I don't know what a better term for it would be, but it's not debt.
Well, the perspective that I was thinking about is 10. It's a paradox where developers on the system, whether they're senior in air quotes, um, or junior, they will want to be consistent with the code base, even if that code base is not conducive to maintainability or maintenance. Meaning that they want to make sure that they follow the conventions, even though those conventions are not healthy, and it's only causing more distractions
Yeah.
when trying to maintain the code.
I think maintenance is the better term here. It's like because it's like things degrade over time if you don't maintain them, but that's different than debt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a totally different concept. So it's like like if you buy a small building that's sized for you, like I don't know, uh, you're going into debt. Like you need to get a bigger building, but you're gonna make do with this for now. But you have to get another building later. Versus like you buy a building and then you just don't take care of it. Now it's shit, and you're like, well, fuck, you know, it's crap now. Well, if you just paint every once in a while and you like clean up things as you go, which merge requests, as you've said, or pull requests discourage you from maintaining. It's like, yeah,
I hate it. I hate it. It
yeah. There's
it's just
something there.
weird, and I'm the only
Yeah.
one that feels that way. It's like
No, I feel that
I
way too.
literally
I feel like
cannot
it's a
clean this
waste.
up because it's so dumb to me. It really is. I understand the motivation,
Yeah.
but the actual execution is flawed.
Yeah, pair programming is much better, I think, supposedly. I'd have a hard time doing pair programming, but it would be because it's like for me, it's just like programming is a lot more fluid of a thing. You're changing it, like you follow paths. I just don't know how to do that aligned with somebody at the same time where they're just off doing their own thing. I mean,
Pair
maybe if
program
like
with
you're,
Odie, I learned a lot.
yeah, as a
Him
learning
and I are just
exercise.
very different, man.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I learned a lot from him. That guy, I don't know where he accumulates what he knows. It's kind of mind-boggling. I wonder if he grew up in the States, if he would still be as talented as he is, or if he would have lost interest. Like when people come from like humble beginnings, they tend to have more hunger
Oh yeah, yeah.
than if they came from a well-to-do like lifestyle or beginning.
Anybody who's gone through adversity is generally stronger than someone who hasn't. This is like a mental scar. Scars are stronger than your normal skin. I try to tell people that too. It's like you like if you have to go through adversity, it's like you come out the other end stronger and you're better than most people. And that's why a lot of people usually, I mean, if you come out of it, I guess is the main thing.
You know what word I hate?
Hmm.
And I hear it every day. I hate this word. I hate it a lot.
Is it the N word?
No, it's the T word.
Oh,
It's related to what we're talking about right now.
oh,
I hate the word trauma.
trauma. Oh, yeah,
That word gets used every day when I watch YouTube videos,
yeah.
right?
I hate the
And
word respect. That gets overused and used wrong too. But
we got to talk
trauma,
about that later because I'm not sure. But
yeah.
trauma is apparently everybody has trauma. When I think about trauma, I think about like war, like you got your legs blown off, or or even like
Trauma is a medical term thing too. It's like if you're
yeah,
cut, that's a
like
trauma. Yeah,
yeah, or you had a stroke or a heart attack, or you literally almost died, like you almost
yeah.
drowned. To me, that's trauma. Like your nervous system has changed long term, and it may not revert back to what it used to be. Like that's trauma. Like you wake, like
I know.
you
I
you
get it.
can't maintain during like New Year's Eve or Fourth of July because you don't. It triggers you. That's trauma, right? These hoes, everything's trauma, right? A bad boyfriend. Like I hate that word. I hear it like I swear to God, like a dozen times a day when I'm watching Manosphere videos or just a lot of things. It's just abused, man. We're
Yeah.
a soft country.
I went through my trauma with
Trauma
my
is because your
ex.
parents didn't hug you.
I went
Okay,
through
well, I
trauma,
mean, that's
all
not
the trauma
good,
of the
but
Trump era.
yeah, like we reward victimhood. We reward victims.
Yeah. I
It's
don't
gonna
like
be a great
respect because
reset, though.
it gets overused too a lot.
How?
Like, um, if so, like if you ever watched like any sort of like daytime talk show where people are having conflicts and then like or like oh god, what was it? There were certain things that they would always be like, if they don't respect me, like everything was about respect, and it was like, but it was way overblown in terms of like how often it's used, and like everything boiled down to respect, and I don't know, it's weird. I just can't stand when respect gets used.
Yeah, then you'll love this. You ready?
RESPECT. That song's great though.
I'm gonna show you a viral video.
You
You know who Birdman
disrespecting me?
is?
The which one?
The
There's
rapper.
lots of Birdmans. No. I mean, I've heard of him, but I don't.
Let me see.
You're watching The Breakfast Club.
That's Charlemagne. Is that the guy's name?
Not a fan of him. I'm not a fan of that show.
Y'all ready? Yes, sir. I want to start this shit off straight, telling all three of y'all stop playing with my name.
Let's go on there. Let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name.
Go
Period.
on
Let's do
there.
it on camera.
Stop playing with my name. I
Let's
ain't
go
gonna
right
say
on
it
in.
no more.
Stop playing with my
Nigga,
name.
when my
Birdman.
name come up, respect it.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name. All three of y'all, stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more.
Respect.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlemagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
He done cursed us out. Tell him, get it off your chest,
I
Birdman.
said it already. I ain't gotta talk no more.
Cause I don't understand the angle. Like what?
I said it already.
So why come here?
I did it already. I'm here. So what's happening?
I'm
Got
here
a lot of
so
alcohol,
good, but I'm
man.
saying why?
And I'm here. What's happening?
Put respect on my
I'm
name.
all good, but I'm
Well,
saying
just
why
say
come
that,
here
man.
just
Look,
to
I'm
curse
here.
us
What's
up?
happening, man? I wanted to see you. I wanted to talk to you on your man in your face.
Absolutely.
You understand me? I knew a few places you was at. I could have pulled up, but I don't think that was gangster. I wanted to come look you in your face like a man and tell you how I feel.
Okay.
You understand me? Straight up like a man.
So what's the
shit,
issue?
No sugar. Ain't no issue. If it was an issue, you'll feel me.
Keep my name out your mouth.
Respect on my name.
Respect.
You understand
No
me?
T.
Y'all
No
saying my
T.
name, put some
Respect.
respect on
Only
Did
K.
you pull up on Ross that way or Trick Daddy?
me. I'm pulling up on you, nigga.
Yeah. I'm the radio guy. Why pull up on the radio guy? Don't have tough with the radio
I
guy.
hear you, my nigga. Y'all finished or y'all done? I ain't got no more talking. That's right.
Whoa, that's quite the posse he's got.
See you later, nigga.
A whole
Respect.
bunch of New Orleans folks. in New
Respect
York
sounds
City.
like a programming thing. Like respect.
Ain't opening grand closing.
I'm gonna respect.
All right. Well, there you
Put respect on my name, mother. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like stuff like that just drives me wild though. It's like
You don't think? Yeah, you don't think respect is important? You haven't seen the videos I share with Odie. Like, hold on, how much time you got left?
I don't know, however much I want. I mean,
All
I
right,
can
let me
work.
show you one more video. Then let me know if you disagree with respect.
Respect. Keep my name out your mouth.
Let me see. I'll turn off my screen sharing, right? Oh yeah. All right, so hold up.
It's just gone downhill since Aretha. Was it Aretha Franklin who did
RESPCT.
I know what it means to me.
RESPCT. Something needs me. Talking to me. Yeah. Let me see. All right. So respect. Let's talk about it. Right. Here we go. This is in the hood in Chicago.
Hey, you ever go on my boy A and you can have this flower too? What's this for? Yeah, what the fuck you mean this for?
I'm just feeling good today.
You think I'm a bitch or something, bro?
What you mean? It's just a flower.
What the fuck I'm gonna do with this flower, dog?
You don't want no flower? Smell it. Smell it. It's real fresh flower.
Man, what the fuck, man? Shit, dude.
So amused. You don't want no flower?
No motherfucking flower.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Someone will appreciate it.
They felt disrespected.
You ever go on, boss? Hey, and I'll give you these flowers for free.
Hey, man, ain't no motherfucker.
I like how it's like they're all.
What you mean, yo?
Huh? Fuck wrong with you, man?
You just destroyed the
Think I'm
flowers.
soft or something? Fucking bitch. This shit, man. Fuck
Yo,
outta here, man.
yo, they're just flowers.
Fuck out of here, man. Ain't no bitch.
They're just
Soft ass
flowers, bro. I
motherfucker.
promise you, they're just
Man,
flowers.
you soft ass motherfucker. Bet you won't come from behind that glass.
What you mean? I'm just saying they're flowers. There's nothing wrong with
What the
them.
fuck wrong with you, man?
It's
Why
crazy
you
how
being
much
so
glass
careful
they
with
have
flowers?
there.
Motherfucking flowers, man.
Oh,
I paid for my.
I mean, you've been in gas stations like that, right?
I mean, very few of them
I'm
that
just feeling
are
good today. I'm
around
getting
here
more
have a
customers flowers.
glass
Bitch or something, bro. I don't
like
need
that. I mean, there are some, but they're
Man,
just
bro,
they're
you know,
very
flowers,
few
bro.
and far
For real,
between.
Why you so mad about just some flowers?
Bro, I'm going on to my female, bro. I don't need no fucking flowers, bro.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you
get
think?
some bullshit ass flowers, bro.
This must be peak
My
COVID
bad, bro.
because
My
all
bad,
the
bro.
people have masks.
You look like you're having a bad day.
No, it's
Yeah, you can have these flowers. I hope it makes your day.
Chirac. Like, people have enemies. They have quote unquote ops.
Yeah,
They don't want to get recognized and get pulled up on. You know what pulled up on means?
I can kind of guess
Yeah.
based on what the respects that guy said. Birdman said.
You should hang out with me in East Cleveland. I can show you the block.
You come to my town, you can. I'll show you what small town living's like. You can go places. There's the people will pull up on you, but to say hi and give you directions, ask for directions maybe.
It's different. I mean, I don't have to deal with that down here in Miami. I mean, Miami has hoods, obviously, but I don't have any business out there unless I got a chick out there. And I haven't dated any chicks from the projects in a long time. So I'm kind of bougie.
Yeah, I guess as long as you stay out of the way of the Orthodox Jew gangs that are clearly out there.
Man, I'm scared to even talk to them, man. Like,
I'm sure they're all really super nice, though.
well, I'm talking about the women. I'm scared to talk to them. I just leave them alone.
I don't think. I
Walk
don't
past
know
them. I
that
keep my
there's-
head down. I don't want to cause any trouble.
Why would you not say hi to them? They'll probably
Because I'm
make you
attracted.
like
I'm biologically attracted to females, and so I just don't want to cause issues.
well,
Especially
if they don't got a ring on their hand or whatever, why what the hell, man? You can find
those people control like a third of the planet. I'm not trying to cause issues.
you might meet the love of your life. That's your problem, is that you're
I agree.
training yourself.
I agree. What is that? Is it West Side Story? What movie? There's probably a couple movies where there's just two different cultures, and then like Romeo and Juliet's another
Yeah,
example.
Roman. Yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to come up missing, and I don't want problems.
I don't think that's a thing.
No, like you could go overseas and talk to like Filipino women or Thai women. I don't think they're going to take it well if you talk to Orthodox Jewish women. I just don't. I
Why
don't
not?
think it's going to go over well because
Who?
one is they tend to. Well, it's my understanding that they believe that they're pre-selected, and they tend
In
to
Orthodox Judaism, it's got pre-selection.
Yeah,
I didn't think that was a thing in
they're
Orthodox.
the chosen ones, right? 12 tribes. That's not a thing.
Oh, I thought you were talking about for marriage.
No, I'm talking about they believe that they're
Yeah,
pre-selected.
God's people and that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't. It's more of a it's kind of a Judaism is a religion, but it's also a nationality. So it's a weird cross sect that other religions don't have.
Well,
But
they
you can
have
convert to Judaism, but it's not really a.
hella influence. They have hella power. Things wouldn't be going on in the other side of the world.
That's because of all the trauma they've been
that
through.
if any other country was doing it, there would be zero tolerance, right? But they have a lot of influence, so they're able to get away with a lot of things, and I don't want to cross their paths. So that's why. And if that's anti-Semitic, so be it. I don't want to get in trouble with them.
Okay, fair enough. I don't agree with you, but I'd say, you know, there's
You
I
get a
don't know,
pass.
there's a
You're
lot
not
of
black.
value that you could probably have, you know, from
I agree with you,
meeting and
but
interacting with them.
I agree with you. Just take into consideration that when you interact with somebody in the physical world, the first thing they look at is your presentation, and because we're all
Only at a
designed
conference.
to survive, stereotypes are still a thing, and I just don't want to disrupt anything. I don't want to cause problems, so I leave them alone. Don't talk to them. You heard about Emmett Till? You know what they did to him, so
I
just
don't
leave
know
him
what you're
alone.
talking about.
Okay. You never heard of Emmett Till?
No. Oh, Emmett Till. Oh, no,
Emmett Till.
no.
Emmett Till.
Till. No. Is that the guy you were telling me about last week?
No, Emmett
Emmett
Till.
Till. Oh no, that's in like 1955, man.
Okay.
And those weren't Orthodox Jews
I think it's
doing
easy
that.
for you to say because your skin color is closer to theirs, and so it's not that much of a threat that's being perceived. I don't think you would be causing a disruption. You could maybe even pass for a Jew if you have black hair, but for me, nah.
My dad for a while thought we might have some Jewish heritage, but
My
the DNA test turned out no.
last name is Jewish. Don't ask me how. It is.
Maybe you are. I mean, who knows?
I mean, it's possible that
You could
my
be part of
great
the
great
tribe.
great 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 granddaddy was a slave master that was also a Jew.
There you go.
I don't know.
Then you
If
could be like, yeah.
if
Now
I
you've
do
got
have
a.
Jewish in me, I would use that to my advantage.
you
I'll go
need
to
to get your DNA done.
what was it called? Wedding crashers. I would straight go to the synagogue every weekend, go to weddings, and try to pull.
Just see if you could. Just see if you can find somebody to. If you're worried about them having your data, just find somebody who can be your like anonymous DNA person. So like, you submit this for me under your name and pretend like you're my DNA, and then I'll get the results back, and I'll just pay you to pretend like you're me.
Oh, that's
That
not
way,
bad.
if I ever get in trouble and they have my DNA, they'll think it's you.
That's actually a good thought. I never considered that.
It's kind of like, you know, like when you sign up for a domain name and you have like domain protection, you just keep submitting DNA requests under the same name or a different person under a pseudonym. I don't know. Do you have to submit your real name and results for DNA? Like who you are? I don't think you have to.
You shouldn't.
I mean, there's some traceability in terms of where it came from, maybe, but I'm sure you can make it mostly anonymous.
You don't think they ask for your social security number and date of birth and all that stuff?
I don't think so. I don't think my wife
Well, they
had to
probably
enter any of that
want to.
stuff.
Well, how do they authenticate you?
Why do they need to authenticate you? All they're doing is taking a blood sample and saying you're 10%, you know,
Yeah, you're right.
Cherokee or whatever. So it's I don't think you have to give them any information. I don't know, because I don't know that there's a legal requirement or anything like that. Now there might be some traceability that could happen with like where your mail came from or whatever, or where you've been accessing their website from, but that could help identify you. But I think there's also maybe privacy laws and stuff protecting some of that. So because DNA is PII, so it's protected just like your name and your social security number are, but not from the government.
On that note, I think I should get ready for work.
Yeah, I suppose. Me too.
It's been
Well,
real.
good
Happy
talk,
Cinco de
yeah.
Mayo.
Oh yeah, I gotta. So Cinco de Mayo, I switched to my summer beer. So it's I start drinking Corona from Cinco de Mayo to probably 4th of July. That's like all Corona drinking.
You're
For some
treating
reason.
it like Easter, or
I have
what?
seasons of beer drinks like that I have. So like I've got an ice fishing beer that I've landed on. Corona's kind of like my camping summer beer for the most part. Tails off towards later the year. Obviously Guinness around St. Patty's Day, and I don't have a good fall beer yet. I think
How often do you drink beer?
not as often as I used to. I used to drink it almost every night, but in the last probably 6 months, I've toned it down to maybe every other weekend or something like that. I like my drinking has gone way down this last year. So, probably because I've been training for this marathon. That just doesn't help.
Yeah, my knee is permanently gone. Every time I even try to think about even trying to just do a little jog for like, I don't know, 30 feet, like it hurts. It's done. It's over.
No, I get that. My knee's finally been starting to hurt, so I actually took this week off. I've got my first half marathon race tomorrow, so
Oh,
I'm
wow.
just like I'm gonna
I love how you just casually say that.
It's not even like a big. I did 15 miles last Saturday, so it's like not even a big deal to do a half marathon. In terms of like, yeah, I'm
How many
not
calories
fast.
do you think you burn when you do those types of runs?
I don't think it matters because I don't. Running is not a weight loss thing. It can help, but it's not like it's by itself. It doesn't help you lose weight at all. Like for me, I couldn't even attest to that. It could be that I've drank less beer, but I'm down like maybe 10 pounds from when I started. It's not like it's all about diet for the most part. Like weightlifting does way more because then you're building up something that can actually burn calories. So you're making yourself less energy efficient. It's like you always wanted to think of yourself, try to make yourself, if you want to be like thin, become a Hummer. It's you need to have big muscle and you need to be energy like inefficient so that your body burns a bunch of calories that you don't have, and then you're gonna not have a lot of
Can you
fat.
say that? Can you say that a different way? When you
But
say energy inefficient through weight training,
yeah, well, your energy inefficient, like to maintain your like daily status, right? You need more energy to maintain a larger body with a lot of muscle than you do a smaller body with no muscle.
well,
And so if
you can have a. I'm trying to understand. Is it not the same thing if you replace muscle with fat? Do you still not have the same? You don't understand what I'm trying to ask. How is having muscle and energy different from having fat and energy?
one's stored and one's maintained, I think like you don't have to maintain your fat stores, you do have to maintain your muscles. Right?
Okay.
Or I mean, you don't. I don't know. Like you don't raise by increasing your body fat percentage. You don't
It sounded like you were saying that it's easier to burn fat through weight
weight training.
training
It is.
than cardio.
It is 100%.
It's easier to burn fat through weight training than cardio.
Yeah, because your body will your body gets into a state of like burning up all of its fuel faster. You have a
Than,
high. You're
than
rich.
cardio.
So there's a yeah, cardio doesn't do a lot. So you have a basal metabolic rate,
That's my
and
body that.
lifting weights is raises your basal level of it. So you're burning more calories during the day just to live and maintain, what you were at. Now, if you don't use them and you stop weight training, well, then it goes down again. But running, you what burn in an hour? I don't know, what is it, a mile?
Probably
You're supposed to burn
300
like,
calories, maybe.
but how much do you burn just by doing nothing in that same time frame? You burn a little bit more doing cardio, but not enough to make a difference. And then if you eat right away, you're just refilling your fuel supplies and you're never burning any weight. But if you can, it's almost like a passive income thing too. You can make more money through doing passive income than running around doing like door dashing all day.
I
It's
agree,
weird.
but
Yeah.
you have to have money, right? That's the catch-22.
Yeah, so you have to. I mean, you have to build muscle, but you can get basically you have your body consumes more calories during the day just doing nothing overall, and so the chances you're going to get into fat burning mode are higher. Just by sleeping, really, you sleep overnight, your your muscles are recovering from weight training thing. They're burning to rebuild themselves. Your 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 total your glycogen depletes, and then you go into fat burning mode. But if you eat breakfast right away, then it usually doesn't help. But I don't know.
All right, I'm going
It's
to
a whole
ask
thing,
you
man.
for consultation because I'm trying to shed 20 pounds, and it's literally in my gut. I mean, that's primarily where all my weight is my stomach. Everything else is pretty much tone. It's
Just
just
don't
my
eat until 2 o'clock.
and I don't really drink.
Yeah, don't eat till 2 o'clock.
You're serious, or that's a joke?
No, that's try even just not eating till noon. Is it so the whole thing is that your body has to go from like your body exists in two modes, right? It's you're in burning carbs or you're burning fat. There's two modes. And your body wants to will burn carbs first every time. So if you have sugar in your system, it 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 will burn that. Then if it runs out of that, then it goes to I think it's glycogen, which is in your liver, and then it will burn that. And once it's all done, then you'll get into this mode where you're like, oh, I feel like shit for a little bit, and then your body kicks on its ketones, which burn fat. Then it will start using your fat supplies. So when you go for an extended period and you never get out of burning carbs, you never have a chance to consume the fat on your body, and then you're done. Now you can also get into ketosis by just eating fat and never eating carbs too, where your body will start to burn fat, and then when you don't have it, it'll burn its own fat. But you have to eat yourself. Like that's the trick to losing weight. The entire thing is about eating yourself. And you could do that by just not either making yourself bigger using by getting your energy requirements up and then not giving it enough carbohydrates to deal with it, or you can do it by just not eating enough carbohydrates. You can do it with just not eating at all, fasting. Like there's ways to do it, but yeah, when you're burning off of ketosis, you know it because you're like hyper focused and wired. It's a way better state of like living, but I guess I don't know. You go down to
So,
go and
so
research it. Or research like
you said
fasting
2 o'clock or 12 o'clock fast?
I think the trick is that to get through your supply, you need like 14 hours. I think is of straight. So you do part of that sleeping, and then you have to kind of fill in the rest, and then you're just getting on the edge of your fat burning mode. Like that's but that'll also help with like diabetes and stuff like that, insulin resistance, because you just keep spiking your blood sugar and your body just keeps shooting out insulin. Well, as soon as you stop doing that, your body starts to become more sensitive to insulin again, and then you don't have resistance, and then you don't get diabetes. It's a whole freaking thing.
So
But
did
don't
you
take my
say?
word for it. Go look it up. Go look
So,
up intermittent fasting and how it works.
so did you say set a goal of only eat at 2 o'clock or after 2 o'clock?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to bed at what is it? I don't know what time you
I
go
go
to
to bed
bed.
at like 10.
10. So yeah, I mean 10 to 10 to if you were to 10 to 10, that's 12 hours. So by noon it's 14 hours, and that's about the key time frame. I maybe just you can always run an experiment. Try for a week. Don't skip. Another thing you could do is skip if you like breakfasts and stuff. Skip your lunch or supper.
See these guns?
Yeah.
Oh, they used to be guns. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean with how much muscle you're carrying, you'd probably if you let yourself get into fat burning mode, you'd probably burn through your fat stores like nobody's business. I'm guessing.
It seems like I can only
Oh,
do that if I'm single. Like
the
you
one thing too
can't
though
have a
is
woman, because they want to eat all the time, and you point her to the kitchen and make you a sandwich. Like it's too convenient. But
yeah. The other thing is don't weight train while you're fasted though. I think that's unless you eat immediately after it.
okay,
So I think the idea is that as soon as you start using your muscles, fat is a slow burning fuel, so it takes ramp up. So what happens is I think this is the deal. If you're in a fasted state and you start doing heavy like workout stuff, your body's going to start looking for fast fuel to burn, and it doesn't have any, so it will burn protein then instead of fat, which fat's just a much slower thing. So
mm.
so that's the one key there. But if you eat right after, if you eat like a protein thing right after, you'll burn that incoming protein, then you'll rebuild yourself or whatever, carbs and protein. So just fasting is best done while you're in a resting state. So if you do morning workouts, don't eat after, what is it then? So let's say you get up and eat breakfast at 9 and you have a big lunch, fine. You can eat whatever you want and just don't eat until, the next morning. That's another way you could do it. I think it's harder than because you're like, but I mean, whatever works for your schedule, I suppose. But yeah,
On
I
that
don't know.
note,
Look up
send it
fasting
over us.
protocols and what it does.
All right, we'll
Yeah.
catch up.
All right. See ya. Yeah, bye.
And everybody else, see you later. Bye.